Hi, my name is Katz, Order for a Librarian, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be sharing my July TBR with you. I really tried my best to upload something else in June aside from my TBR, but that didn't happen. Let's try again for July. To be fair, like June was very busy. I had exams. I still had my bachelor's thesis to finish. So like I had a lot of stuff going on, and so like whenever I had time for something else, like my brain just didn't want to read. So I rarely read anything, which you'll see with like when I go over my last month's TBR. I haven't read much of it. So yeah, hopefully July is gonna go better in that regard. I'm pretty sure that it will, because I don't have much to do in July, except for like read. So yeah, hopefully it goes better. I will be participating in a readathon in July, which is Game Nightathon, hosted by Cleo from the channel Bemused Bookworm. Each year we have one in July and one in December. The July one is based on a board game. The December one is a lottery. And for this year, the board game one is Labyrinth. So if you're not familiar with Labyrinth, I'm not gonna explain the whole thing here. But basically, you have to collect little tokens while you're going through a labyrinth, basically. And the tokens, I've printed them out. These are the prompts. There is no real explanation over what each of the token exactly means as a prompt. We get a lot of freedom to interpret it however we want, which I love. I love the creativity. There are some that are like more straightforward. For example, there is one that's like a dragon. It's like a book with dragons. It seems pretty easy. But then there's other, like, there is one that's just like the number 3. So like we get some creativity there with what we do with that, which I love. I love the idea of that. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to see what tokens I'm gonna get, because like you're kind of meant to like pick them as you go, like make little cards and then pull one whenever you're about to pick a new book, and then go from there. So I will do that throughout the month. I'm really excited to see what I'll get, and I hope that the books that I pick for this TBR are going to work. I haven't even thought about how I could interpret some of these tokens. Like I'm going to see that whatever I'm in the mood for at the time. So I'm not really going to think about Game Nightathon too much while picking the books. There is one thing though with the point system with Game Nightathon works. It is actually more beneficial to read a few very long books rather than like lots of very short ones, which is good because I'm kind of in the mood for some chunky books. So you might see a few popping up, but that again makes me nervous because I haven't done great in June, and so the TBR might get very big. But you know what? As I already said, I have a lot of time on my hands in July, so maybe like if there is one point where I'm gonna get a big TBR, I guess it'll be now. So, with the intro out of the way, let's go over my TBR from June. This is it. It's a pretty hefty stack. So, we had Every Exquisite Thing for a book with an alliteration in the title, which I read, and I freaking loved. This book was fantastic. I had Half a Soul for a book with a body part in the title. I extended that prompt a little bit to include the word soul, which I haven't read, unfortunately. Night Film by Marsha Pessel, which was a rollover from the previous month, which I didn't get to. The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy, which was both a rollover from the previous month and Random Number Generator from my 25 book story in 2025. And I also didn't get to this one. A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas for a series spinner pick, which I haven't fully finished yet, but I will finish it probably today. If not today, then tomorrow. I'm filming till the 26th. By the way, I have 80 pages left, so I'll definitely finish it this month. So I'll count it as finished. The Honey Witch by Cindy J. Shields, which I attempted to read. I've read like a little bit of it, but I realized that I was just not in the mood for this. But you know what? Because I tried it, and because I have so many other things that I didn't read, I'm just going to count it as read for the purposes of this video. Okay? Because I just have so many other things that I have to, you know, not read anyway. And then you have The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick, which was both a random number generator pick and a book with blue cover. And I also didn't read that. So out of the 7, I started 3 and like read enough to be called significant portion of only 2. I'm not sure what that sound is, but it's something outside, so I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, I didn't do great. I have to, I don't want to call them punishments because that makes it sound bad, but like, you know, do the thing. So I'm just gonna break this up. I have 4 to take, 1 for Half a Soul, 1 for Night Film, 1 for Sapling Cage, and 1 for The North Wind. If you don't know, if you're new to my TBR game, what I do if I don't finish a book, I will, for each of the books that I didn't finish the previous month, I will pick a goose prompt from the goose jar, and then I get to choose whether I just want to roll over the book into the next month or do whatever the prompt says. If the book has already been rolled over from the month before, I have to both roll it over and do whatever the goose prompt says. So that'll be the case for Night Film and The Sapling Cage. And if it is the random number generator pick, then if I choose not to roll it over, I have to try and make it fit with one of the prompts for the new game, because if not, it still gets added as an extra book at the end. So that's the case with The North Wind. But so let me put this down because this stack is very heavy. Okay, I'm going to start with The Sapling Cage and Night Film because that's pretty easy. I don't have to make a decision. So these two are start off on the TBR anyway, and so I'll just pick 2 goose prompts to see what we get. So I've got the goose jar. Let's open it. Doesn't really matter what book what prompt is for, so I'm just gonna pick 2 and then we'll see. This one and this one. Okay. The first prompt is take 3 prompts, pick 1. Okay, that's pretty nice. I'll do that in the middle. I'll first open the other prompt. The second prompt is series spinner wheel. Okay, so I'll start by spinning the wheel. So the series spinner wheel, it gave me Bridgerton. So the next book that I need to read, and that is To Sir Philip with Love. I'm pretty sure, whatever the 5th book is, Eloise's book. I'm pretty sure it's To Sir Philip with Love, where she is writing letters to this man, and it's romance. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I actually would like to finish this series this year if possible. I'm not sure if it's gonna be possible, because I don't love to read them back to back. I like to keep a bit of time in between them, but I'm quite excited to get back to this. And so, To Sir Philip with Love. Now let me get the prompts to pick 3 prompts and then choose which one out of the 3 I want to do. I decided to just keep this view, so I have, it's a little bucket with prompts, so let me pick 3. I have this 1 and 2, and then 3. Put this down. Okay. Prompt number 1. stories. Okay. Prompt number 2. Author's lesser known work. So like a book by a pretty well-known author, but like this is like one of the books that is lesser talked about by this author. And then over 400 pages. I think I'm gonna go with over 400 pages because I said that, you know, I would like to get quite a few chunkier books on here. So I think that is the one that I'm gonna pick. But now I have to choose which one out of the chunkier books I'm gonna put on here. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Okay, I decided what I'm going to pick. I have one like commitment read in July that is over 400 pages. So, you know, like getting it on early, you know, it was a good idea. So that is The Ninth Brain by Jen Williams, the first book in the Wing Flame trilogy. I'll be buddy reading this with Kristen from the Channel Reading Nymph and Danny from Danny Dabbles. They like had a buddy read planned and I heard about it and was like, hey, can I join? And they were like, sure, why not? So I'll be reading it with them. I'm quite excited. This book is also on my priority series to read in 2025. So I'm excited to give it a try. So this is, it's a bit of a complicated synopsis. It doesn't quite stick in my brain. But it's like, there are these creatures that usually like get life and energy from this specific type of tree, but now that this tree is kind of gone, I guess, and so instead they have to drink human blood, maybe potentially. And then there is something with alien, like an alien species. I don't know if it's the same species or a different one. As I said, like the synopsis of this series, like it just won't stick in my brain. Hopefully that like once I've read it, I'll be able to give you a better synopsis, but right now it just won't stick. So also because I'm very tired, so in case you haven't noticed it, this video is going to be very rambly. Enjoy. So yeah, let's continue. I also didn't read Half a Soul, so let's pick a Goosebump for Half a Soul. They're stuck together. This one. Is it upside down? I think it's upside down. Is it in frame? Normal prompt, but it has to be the last book that I read this month. Ooh. I think just with the format of Game Night-a-thon, I think this will be pretty hard to actually do. So I think I'm just gonna roll over Half a Soul. I wasn't planning to because I'm not sure if I'm in a mood for this. But I think I'm just gonna do it. So Half a Soul is going on the TBR. And then finally, it's way at the bottom of the stack, so I don't gonna get it. But the Goose Prompt for The North Wind by Alexandra Warwick. This one. Oh, that was upside down. It's Series Spinner Wheel. Again, I have a couple of Series Spinner Wheel in here, but like, they get picked a lot. So, oh, what do I do? Because like, I have to choose whether I'm going to roll over or not before I do the Series Spinner Wheel. I think with the amount of books that I would like to get on here, and because the Northwind, if I don't put it on here now, like if I don't just roll it over, I would have to try to fit it in somewhere else. But I have so many books that I want to fit in here So I think I'm just gonna roll it over and not do the series scenario a second time. So we're starting the game with 6 books on the TBR already. Oh gosh. I'm a little bit scared. 5 rolls. We'll see where we end up. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into roll number 1. Okay, just kidding. We have to do the random number generator first. I almost forgot. So I have 484 lines filled on this list. So that means a number between 1 and 484. Generate 19. That is very close to the beginning. Murderbot by Martha Wells. Okay, I did not anticipate getting Murderbot, but okay. So the random number generator gave me All Systems Red by Martha Wells, which is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries, which is a novella series about this robot who is supposed to like be a protection robot thing, but they don't like that. They just want to watch TV all day. And it's very character driven, and I've heard that people really like the character of Murderbot, so I've been wanting to try the series. I didn't necessarily play it this month, but I guess so. For the random number generator, I either have to try and fit it in with one of the rolls, or else I just have to add it on as an extra book at the end. So now let's actually get into roll number 1. Last time I ended on spot number 14, so that is where I'm starting today with roll number 1. 4 with doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a goose. That is lovely. So with the doubles, I have to pick 2 prompts, and so because it's a goose spot, 2 goose prompts, and I can choose to either like fulfill both with 1 book or do 1 book for each. Usually with the goose prompts, if they don't like prompt me to actually pick a book, then I'll pick a normal prompt. For these, as long as one of them gives me a book, it's okay. So let's pick 2 prompts. 1, oh, I'll try to keep it in frame. And 2. So prompt number 1 is move 1 space forward. And the other one is random number generator for my yearly TBR. Oh gosh. Because moving 1 forward is the inn. And what happens in the inn, I have to pick a prompt and pick 2 books for that. So this means that it's 3 books for this 1 prompt, unless the prompt that the yearly number generator picks works for the actual prompt. So I think I'm gonna do that first, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, let me pick that book first. This is my yearly TBR, so as you can see, there's 3 that I've read. I'm not doing great on this list, but so if it lands on one of those 3, I'll just pick a new number. So that's 2, 13, or 20 that I can't get, but other than that, I can do anything between 1 and 25. Generate number 5. That is Everyday Utopia by Kristen Argosy. I'm not mad about this. Okay, let's go. And then I just have to pick 2 prompts. Oh no, 1 prompt. 1 prompt I have to fill twice. I'll go with this one. And the prompt is into yourself pub. Oh no. Okay, so role number 1 was just chaos all around. First of all, I had doubles, which means I had to pick 2 prompts. And then one of them was to move place forward, which means I had to pick 1 other prompt that I had to fill twice. So yeah, so first I had the random number generator for my yearly TBR, which gave me Everyday Utopia by Kristen or Godsey. This is a nonfiction that basically looks at sort of different ways that different cultures and societies throughout time and all over the world have sort of structured themselves, which may be like doing things better than we are currently doing it right now in the West. So I think this is very interesting. I've been wanting to read it for quite a while, but I just haven't actually gotten to it. I think this will be like the 3rd time that I get it from the library. So I hope to finally read it in July. That would be fun. And then the prompt I had to fill twice was Indie or Self Pub, which like I was not prepared for this prompt, which is why I said oh no. But I decided to maybe work on some review copies I still have lying around. I mean, they're on my Kindle, so they're not really lying somewhere, but like, you know what I mean. So the first one is going to be Cold for Souls by Tori Tekken, which is, it's a Western inspired fantasy, as in like cowboys Western. That is pretty much all I know. Tori is a friend of mine, so heads up there, but I do want to read her book. So that's the first one that I'm going to be reading, and then the other one is going to be Upscaled by Joseph John Lee, which I also got as a review copy, and this is about someone, it's a very cozy book about someone who organized the birthday party for her baby, or for their, I'm not sure what the gender of that person, I don't know where I assume they're women, for their baby dragon, and then things go awry. So excited for both of them. I'm a little worried because we just have row 1 and there's already 10 books on this TBR. It's fine. On to roll number 2. Roll number 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normal prompt. And the prompt is a book with a red or a pink cover. I can do that. Roll 2 gave me a book with a red or a pink cover, and for that I'm going to be reading Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. This is a witchy romance. I don't know a lot about it. I'm pretty sure we have our main character who runs like this bakery, coffee shop, something along those lines, and she's trying to do a spell which goes wrong, and it's a bit of a rom-com. There's like so many books that have the exact same premise that they're all blending together. So like, as I said, I'm tired. Let's just get into the next roll, okay? Roll number 3. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Normal prompt. And the prompt is past hyped. So a book that like there was a time that it was everywhere, but it's been a while since I've heard people talk about it. Roll 3 gave me past hyped, and for that I'm going to put the random number generator pick on here, which is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. There was a while where like everyone and their brother was reading the series, I feel like, but it's been a while since I've seen people talk about it. So I think that definitely fits the prompt, and that way I don't have to add another book because the TBR is getting big enough already. And I can just move right into row 4. Roll number 4. 4 and doubles again. At least it's like normal doubles. Oh gosh. That's 2. The first one is published prior to the year 2000, and the second one is An Animal in the Title. I'm gonna have to think about that. So roll number 4 gave us doubles again. And so yeah, the first prompt was animal in the title. And for that, I'm gonna go with something that's technically not meant as an animal in the book, but is the name of an animal, and that is Raven 2 by Miriam Borgmans. It is actually a character's name. But a raven is also a type of bird, so it is an animal. So it counts. This is the 3rd book in the Slaves series, which I'm really enjoying. They're quite chunky, but they read pretty quickly, which is always nice. And I really want to continue the series. I would love to finish this series if possible. So yeah, this one is going on here. In this series, it is like a dual POV series where we're alternating books between Raven's POV and Dante's POV, hence Raven 2, the second book from Raven's POV. She is a slave in this series, and in the first book, she gets accused of murdering her master, and we go from there. So, yeah, I'm excited to read this. I have actually read this before at one point. This is as far as I got the first time I read through the series, but I hope to get through this time around because I'm quite enjoying it, and it's holding up really, really well. Like when this came out, I know it's after 2000 already picked another book, but it's 2018, so it's 7 years old, but it holds up pretty decently. The other prompt I got was a book published prior to the year 2000, which I was like, oh gosh, I didn't really have anything planned that could work for this, but I think now that I think about it, I'm kind of due for a reread of Pride and Prejudice, so I think I'm just gonna put that on here to see if that works. To be quite honest, this probably will be the one that, if there is one book on this TBR that doesn't get read, it'll probably be this one. Just from where my head is at right now. I don't know what my mood is going to be throughout the month, but for now, that's like not the one that I'm the most excited to read from all of these. So yeah, let's get into the last roll and hope that it please will be nice to me. Roll number 5. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, thank God. That's the last roll. Okay. Normal prompt. And the prompt is catch up with a series. I can do that. Okay. So for the 5th and final roll, I got catch up with a series, and for that I'm going to be reading Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jessie Q. Sedanta, which is book 2 in the Vera Wong series, which is a cozy murder mystery about this old lady who has this tea room, and in the first book, one day she finds a dead body, and she thinks that the police is very incompetent, and so she's like, I can do this better, let me do it. So she ends up solving this mystery, and this is the second book. So we'll see. I didn't love the first book, but I quite enjoyed the found family in it, so you know, I hope that that'll be the thing that really works for me. So yeah, that is the last book on the TBR. It is going to be a big one. Let's gather the books that I have here with me and see how we go. So this is the stack from the books that I own physically, which doesn't seem too bad, but there's quite a lot that I don't have here. So I have Night Film by Marsha Bessel for a rollover from the previous month, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater for a rollover from the previous month, Raven 2 by Medium Bourgeois for a book with an animal in the title, The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy for a rollover from the previous month, The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick for a rollover from the previous month, To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn for a series spinner wheel pick, The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams for a book over 400 pages, Everyday Utopia for a random number generator pick for my 25 books read in 2025, Cold for Souls by Tori Tekken for a Indie Yourself Pub book, Upscaled by Joseph John Lee for an Indie Yourself Pub book, Best Text Ever by Nadia Alfasi for a read or pick cover, All Systems Read by Martha Wells for a past hyped book, and the random number generator pick for the month, Pride and Prejudice for a book published prior to the year 2000. And then Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man for catching up on a series. I have 2 more books that I want to add to this TBR, and they are both rather chunky. So first up, I can't even hold them. Hang on. I have Jonathan Strange and Miss Turner Owl. I would love to try and get to this. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would love to. So that is going on here. And then I have The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie, 3rd book in the first Law trilogy. So that's going on here as well. So there we have it. That is, oh, it's wobbly. Hang on. That is our stack. It's a big one. It is not very even. It's not a very aesthetic stack, but it's a stack. So that is going to be the TBR. I'll put on screen how many pages this is. I don't even know. I'm not sure if I want to know though, but I'll put it on screen. So yeah, if you've read any of these books, please let me know what you thought of it, and let me know which book I need to prioritize, because there's no way I'm getting to all of these. And please tell me what book you're excited to read in the month of July, and I will see you again in the video. Bye.